So in the previous video, we created a camera view, okay? And of course, we can click right here and we can see where that camera is set up. If you can't see where the camera is, one way is to click here and on the boundary of the camera, or to go to that view, okay, which that camera view there, and say show camera. Okay, so I just right clicked on it, said show camera, and then it'll show camera in all your different views that you have opened up and where that camera is located. As far as I know, there's no way to continuously turn it on and keep it there. You just have to go over here, right click on it, say duplicate, show camera, and it will appear. Then of course, as soon as you click off of it, it will disappear. So now what we want to do is create those elevations. And before I had an elevation symbol here, but I hit it. So I want to show you that elevation symbol. And to do that, I'm going to hit show reveal. And so there's the elevation symbol I had before. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. So I'm going to go in here and say unhide by category. Okay. So you may want to do that too. Well, you need to do it. Okay. Whether you want to or not. So I'm going to show you how to place an interior elevation symbol, and then we're going to make some modifications to it, and then we're going to delete it and then make modifications to this one. So let's go in here into elevations. Okay, so we're in the views, view tab, elevations. And you'll see interior elevation may pop up. It may pop up with building elevation. Of course, that's the other elevation symbol that we looked for previously, right? That's that little symbol right there. You'll notice now when I go over here to this view, I've got this little elevation symbol, okay? And it's going to set up one view, and I'm just going to set it in here to kind of show you what's involved. So I'm just going to click in here, and what it's going to do is it's created an elevation now. You may have saw that, elevation 2, since the first one I put in was elevation 1. You'll see this elevation symbol, and then I hit the escape key to get out of the command. And if I click on it, you'll see elevations 1, this is 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. It'll rotate around the symbol, and then it'll create a view for it. Okay, and that's what I've done right here. So, just to show you, I'm just going to click here. So you'll see now there's an elevation 2B, and a view was created over here. I'm going to hit escape again, select this. See if I can get the symbol itself. Let's hit the tab key a couple of times and see. There we go. I'm going to delete that. When I do, it's going to say, do you want these elevations deleted too? And of course we do. If we don't have the symbol. So I've already started for you. I've created 3 views. We're going to create a 4th one just to show you how to do that in this video. But let's just look at elevation 1A, 1B, and 1C real quick so we can orient ourselves. And so I'm going to go ahead and close this camera view because we really don't need it right now. And I'm going to double click on elevation A, which is this one right here. This elevation here, and I'm just going to double click on that, and when I do, you'll see the elevation, and it's the standard elevation. Interior designers, I'm sure you know what a interior elevation is. These are often drawn by the interior designers in a project. And so we've got our door that's on that side, right? This door right here. There's that window wall, which is right here. And then, of course, our beams, okay? And here's our girder, okay? And then, of course, our column right here is being covered on the interior with a little metal stud wall with gypboard on it for fire reasons, fireproofing. And then I can also look at elevation B, which is this one right here, looking in that direction, which should be basically a blank wall. So let's just open up elevation B, and sure enough, it's a blank wall. Once again, it's kind of cutting through, and you might wonder, well, where does it cut through? Well, where it cuts through is, let's go back here. If I click on this elevation, you'll see this line right here. That's where it's cutting it. So it's cutting the elevation right here, in a sense, cutting a section, and then looking back at the elevation of this interior right here. So if we move this, okay, that's going to change where it's being cut through. For instance, if I wanted that elevation to also cut through that door, okay, you'll see now it's cut through the door over here. Okay, so the door is now cut by that too. So if I wanted that relationship to show, oh, there's an interior door here and there's a window wall over here, and how that relates to what I'm doing here, then I would do something like that. And then, of course, the final view, 1C right here. And, of course, I can open these by just double-clicking on the project browser over here and show you elevation 1. And there's that door. Okay, so we're looking here this way. Here's the door, and here's that big blank wall. And let's go back to C. And then, of course, there's our beam. One thing I want to do is this is set at coarse. Okay, so I'm going to go to fine so that all my details will come back in. You know, here's my floor, my steel deck here, right? And then the second floor up here. And I just chose to expand this. So let's create a third view real quick. It's really very simple. Once we've inset this symbol, this elevation symbol, if we just find it, okay, it wants to default to those names. I'm going to hit the tab key until I get the little circle, and then I'm going to click on it. And then you'll see right here, there's one more slot open, okay? And of course it isn't shaded or post-shade. And so I'm going to click on this, and it's going to click me or create another view, just like I showed you before, elevation 1D now. So we have elevation 1D, so I'm just going to double click on that and open it up. And so there's elevation 1D, and of course this is not the way I would want it. So I'm going to, you know, make some changes real quick, and I want you to do the same. Whoops, move that out. There we go. And come on. I hate when they do that. There we go. So there's elevation, top of footing, finished floor. I'm going to go ahead. Often it crops to the bottom of the wall, but I like to have the structure and kind of a wall section condition here, so I can see the relationship between. So there's a wall right here. Whoops, went too far. Come on. There we go. And then there should be a wall right over here. This is that window wall, right? And so I'm gonna, because that kind of changes the whole nature, right, of the interior elevation when we can see the relationship between other elements in the design. So there's my window wall, there's my column, you know, and that's all shown in. Let's go back to level 1, and that's all shown in this elevation D right here. Okay, and this is where we're going to put those cabinets later. And so now we have all of our elevation set up, and got our perspective set up. So now we're ready to create some surfaces and finishes.